I was curious about why KJ Britt played every one of Tyrell's snaps and why Willie Gay did not play any of them. What led to that decision not to give Willie a package in that game with Dotson out?
Because KJ plays Mike linebacker, as does Terrell. Terrell was out with the concussion. Willie doesn't play Mike linebacker.
Okay, so, and I should add that Willie had said that he can play both positions and that there was a rotation of snaps at Terrell's position. So he did not complain about not playing, but I think the expectation might have been that perhaps he would have gotten a few of those snaps based on what we've told us last week.
Yeah.
Is his skill set such that he's not ideal at that linebacker spot? Speaking of Willie.
This is the way, I'll word it like this. I'm a routine, rhythm, preparation guy. I've never been a big fan of, as most inside linebackers don't rotate, like pass rushers rotate, right? Receivers on offense, they rotate. Inside linebackers usually don't rotate. I've never been a fan of that. I've never done that. So from a preparation standpoint, from day one, Terrell Dotson and KJ Britt have gotten every rep of Mike linebacker on that practice field for the last 6 months. As Jordan Brooks and Willie Gay, whether we're in base playing with a will linebacker or we're in nickel playing with a dime linebacker, those guys have been trained that way. Now, you have to adjust. Last week, with Terrell being out, Willie was our emergency backup Mike linebacker since KJ started. So he was prepped last week to back up Jordan and KJ. But at no point did we ever talk about a rotation or, and back to Willie Gay has played a ton of football in this league. We've had this conversation in here before where can't remember how many games he started. The guy started Super Bowls. He is a starting NFL inside linebacker caliber player. There's no doubt. But since he's been here, he has been prepped and prepared to be our backup will linebacker and backup dime linebacker. So that's why he didn't play any Mike last week. Now, if KJ's chin strap would have broke, he was prepared all week to go in and play Mike, if that was the case. But and by the way, KJ played his ass off last week. I thought did a really great job for us.
Thanks.
Joe, I want to check something with you. A couple of things. People have said that a lot of the tackles made by the linebackers are 5-6 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. A, is that true? And B, if so, why is that? Is it as simple as
Yeah, I'm not.
lines?
You can ask those people those questions.
Yeah.
Whoever those people are. I know Jordan Brooks is leading the NFL in tackles right now. So our job is to tackle the guy with the ball. Where he's at, I don't get concerned with that. So whatever stat that you're referring to, you can ask those people wherever the ball is being tackled at.
If God forbid you had lost two inside linebackers in the game last week, who would have been next up as a fourth?
We had Jordan Colbert dressed. We elevated him from the practice squad.
And even though he sort of grew up as a safety, Rhode Island and elsewhere, what makes him equipped for a linebacker? It gets to be more of a nickel role, but what would make him equipped to be a linebacker?
At this point in his career, we feel that his future, that's why we kept him when we released him. We brought him back with the intention that his future is going to be linebacker. So he's on our practice squad. He's getting practice squad reps every day. Because of the circumstance that we were down T-Dot, we elevated him, and he was our, there would have had to be two guys go out for him to play any linebacker snaps. But yeah, in the NFL, when you have a helmet on game day, you have to have a role. Now, some guys' roles are special teams. But of course, whatever position you play, if there's a disaster at your position, you got to be ready to go. And Jordan did a great job from a preparation standpoint, being ready if we would have needed him.
The skills that you see in him that you think make him well suited to make that transition, safety, college safety to linebacker, or what?
He's had great athleticism. He's was always on the bigger side of safeties, and we just felt with his skill set, with his physicality, we felt that he was probably going to be, if he has any future in the National Football League, it was going to be at linebacker. So, that's always one of those guys too, Barry, that you hope that that we're around, he's around, to be able to have him in the off season, because it's hard when you move a player during the season. I'm talking drastic position change, going from a back end safety to a inside linebacker position. That's hard to do, in season. That's something that really has to. I think he's going to make his strides. If he does end up being an NFL linebacker, he's going to make his strides in the off season. That's an OTA project. But we made the decision to say, hey, let's put him there. Let's get him practice squad reps every day. Every snap of the simulated defense that our offense goes against every day, he is playing linebacker. So he's getting meaningful reps. Unfortunately, running another team's defense, but he's learning how to play the linebacker position right now, and he's made great strides even in the 6 weeks that he's been here.
In general, what's the one or two most important things that have to happen for the team run defense to improve?
I think when you're off to a start like we are, you always wish that it could be just one or two things. Like, hey, we fix this one thing, it's going to be great. But where we're at right now, it's not. It's one thing on this play. It's one thing on this play. It's one thing on this play, and that might be a guy up front on one play, a linebacker on a next play, a DB on a next play. So I think collectively, and this really, guys, is my belief. When we're at the stage where we're at right now, football is the ultimate team sport. It is, and everybody involved, I'm talking about everybody in our building, has to do better. When you're 1-5, it's not just one or two things, and that's the thing that I really feel good about, is the leadership that we have, the Sealers, the Jordan Brookses, those type of guys. They understand that, and they're like, you know what, we all have, but everybody in the building. I don't care what your role is, what your position is, what you do. Every single, it's not just the 46 helmets on game day, right? It's everybody. Everybody has to be better at their job when you're 1-5, because again, it isn't just one thing. It's, and you can say it's, oh, we've had bad luck and the ball hasn't bounced our way, all that, but the way you get out of that is that every single person in this building just upping it a little bit and being better. And it's every single person, coaches, players, trainers, managers, everybody doing their job just a little bit better. And then we'll get out of this thing, because I do believe we have the character in that locker room to get out of it.
Blitz a lot to help out with the run.
Yeah.
I'm curious, how do you balance, bringing that extra pressure with, not blitzing, because, it sometimes creates huge rush lanes.
Sure. I think that's always a fine line. That's the dice that you roll, per se, when you do that. But there's always every call, whether you're making a call as an offensive play caller or a defensive play caller, there's intent for that call. Just like there's all different kinds of blitzes, pressures. There's run pressures that you're hoping to knock out the run on 1st and 10, not necessarily that call you would make on 3rd and 8 from a pressure. But that's always the calculated risk that you run when you call a run pressure and it's a pass. You're not gonna get the pressure that you want, and vice versa. When you call something to attack a protection, to sack the quarterback, and they run the ball. That's the thing that happens. So, but you run that risk all the time. So, I think that's just the calculated risk that you run as a play caller. And a lot of times, having been in that position, you know, a lot of times you like the players to get you out of a bad call, right? If it happens, from that regard, from a pressure standpoint.